What happens when a simple act of kindness returns to you in the most unexpected way? When Dee saved a stranger's life months ago, he never expected anything in return. But today, a mysterious young man appears at their doorstep with gratitude that will change everything. Will Dee accept his thanks? The morning sun filters through the bamboo walls of Ly Tu Huyen's modest home, casting gentle shadows across the wooden floor. Huyen hums softly as she prepares breakfast, while Maya plays with her handmade doll in the corner. Day sits outside, sipping his morning tea, watching the mist slowly lift from the mountain valley below. It's a peaceful morning, like so many others in their simple life together. The sound of footsteps on the dirt path catches Dee's attention. A young man, perhaps in his late 20s, carefully navigates the steep trail leading to their home. He's dressed in clean clothes, carrying a small backpack, and there's something familiar about the way he moves, slightly favoring his left leg. Huyen steps outside, wiping her hands on her apron. Her eyes narrow with concern as the stranger approaches. Dee, do we know this person? She whispers, instinctively moving closer to the doorway, where Maya plays inside. In their remote village, unexpected visitors are rare, and Huyen has learned to be cautious after years of hardship. The young man stops a respectful distance away, his face breaking into a wide smile. "Excuse me, are you Mr. Day?" he asks, his voice trembling with emotion. "I've been searching for you for months." Day stands slowly, studying the young man's face. There's something in those eyes, something he recognizes but can't quite place. "I am Dee. How can I help you?" The young man's eyes glisten with tears. "You saved my life 6 months ago. Do you remember? The motorcycle accident on the mountain road near the market?" Suddenly, the memory floods back to Day. It was a rainy afternoon, and he was returning from the dock when he heard the terrible sound of metal scraping against rock. A young man had lost control of his motorcycle on the slippery road, crashing into the guardrail. The bike was mangled, and the rider lay unconscious, blood streaming from a gash on his head. Day had acted without thinking. He flagged down a passing truck, carefully lifted the injured man, and rode with him all the way to the hospital in town. He stayed there for hours, waiting until the doctors confirmed the young man would survive. The head injury was serious, but not fatal. When the young man's family finally arrived, Day had quietly slipped away, never leaving his name. "You were bleeding so much," Day says softly, the images still vivid in his mind. "I was worried you wouldn't make it, but you look healthy now. I'm glad." The young man wipes his eyes. "The doctor said if I had arrived even 30 minutes later, I might have died from blood loss. You didn't just help me, you gave me my life back." Maya peeks out from behind her mother, curious about the emotional stranger. Huyen's expression softens as she understands the connection. Her husband had mentioned the accident briefly when he came home that day, covered in someone else's blood, but he had downplayed his role, calling it simply helping someone in trouble. The young man gestures toward their small porch. "May I sit and talk with you? I have so much to say." Huyen quickly brings out another cup of tea, her motherly instincts overcoming her initial wariness. They settle on the wooden bench that Dee built himself, overlooking the terraced rice fields that cascade down the mountainside. "My name is Min," the young man begins. "After I recovered, I tried to find you. The hospital had no records of who brought me in. My family and I asked everyone at the market, at the dock, in every village along that road. For months, no one knew who the man was who saved me. People described you as the dock worker with kind eyes or the quiet man who helps everyone. But no one knew your name or where you lived." Min takes a sip of tea, his hands shaking slightly. "Finally, last week, I met an old woman selling vegetables who recognized my description. She told me about Dee, the man who lives in the mountain village with his wife and little daughter. The man who once carried her heavy baskets all the way home when she was sick as she gave me directions to find you. Dee listens quietly, uncomfortable with the praise. Huyen reaches over and gently squeezes his hand, her eyes shining with pride for the man she loves. Mr. Dee, I need to thank you properly. Min continues, pulling out a thick envelope from his backpack. My family and I want to give you this. It's not nearly enough to repay what you did, but please accept it. Day looks at the envelope and shakes his head firmly. No, Min. I cannot take your money. But Mr. D... Listen to me, Day says gently, placing his weathered hand on Min's shoulder. When I saw you lying on that road, I didn't see a stranger. I saw a son, someone's brother, someone's friend. I saw a person who needed help. Saving someone in difficulty is not something we do for reward. It's simply what we must do as human beings. Min's tears flow freely now. But you stayed with me at the hospital. You used your own money for the initial treatment. You gave up your work that day to help someone you didn't even know. And I would do it again. Dee replies simply. The greatest reward I could receive is seeing you standing here healthy and alive. That is enough for me. Huyen wipes her own eyes, moved by her husband's words. This is the man she fell in love with. The man who took in a desperate mother and daughter when the world had turned its back on them. His goodness isn't for show or reward. It flows from the very core of who he is. Maya, sensing the emotional moment, climbs into Dee's lap. Papa is a hero, she says simply, and everyone laughs through their tears. Min puts the envelope away, nodding in understanding, but his face shows he's not ready to give up. Mr. D, if you won't take money, then please let me do something else. I work for a small travel company in the city. Let me give you and your family a gift. A 3-day trip to a beautiful small town not far from here. You, your wife, and your daughter. All expenses paid. Please, let me do this. Day starts to refuse, but Huyen touches his arm. Day, she whispers, we've never been anywhere. Maya has never seen beyond these mountains. Maya's eyes widen. A trip? Like an adventure, Papa? Day looks at his family's faces and sees something he hasn't seen in a long time. Pure, unburdened excitement. Huyen works so hard every day, caring for their home, tending their small garden, never complaining about their simple life. Maya deserves to see the world beyond their village, to make memories that will last a lifetime. Are you sure about this? Dee asks Min. A trip for 3 people is expensive. Min smiles broadly. Mr. Day, you gave me my life. This is the least I can do. The town I'm thinking of is called Mok Chau. It's a small, peaceful place in the mountains with beautiful tea plantations, flower gardens, and a lovely lake. Very quiet, very beautiful, perfect for families. I've already arranged everything. A comfortable guest house, meals included, and I'll drive you there myself. Dee sees the hope in Huyen's eyes, the joy radiating from Maya's face, and his resistance melts away. All right, he says, his own smile breaking through. We accept your generous gift. Thank you, Min. The transformation in their home is immediate. Maya jumps up and down, clapping her hands. Mama, we're going on a trip. A real trip. Huyen laughs, pulling her daughter into a hug. Yes, sweetheart. We're going together. All 3 of us. Min beams with satisfaction. I'll come back in 3 days to pick you up. Pack light and comfortable. The weather there is cool and pleasant this time of year. He stands, bowing respectfully to Day and Huyen. Thank you for accepting. You've given me the chance to finally repay a small part of what you did for me. After Min leaves, the house buzzes with excitement. Huyen begins pulling out their few good clothes, examining what needs mending or washing. Maya needs a new dress, she murmurs. And Dae, your good shirt has a tear. I'll fix it tonight. Adi watches his wife flutter around with more energy than he's seen in months. Huyen, we don't need to be fancy. It's just a small trip. But I want us to look nice, Huyen says, her cheeks flushed with happiness. Maya should have pretty clothes for her first journey. That evening, they sit together as a family, talking about what they might see. Dae describes the stories he's heard from other dock workers about tea plantations that stretch as far as the eye can see, where the air smells sweet and green. Maya listens with wide eyes. Will there be other children there, Papa? Maybe, Dae says, stroking her hair. And there might be animals you've never seen before, and foods you've never tasted. Huyen holds Dee's hand across the table. I never thought I would travel anywhere, she whispers. When I was living in that broken shack with Maya, barely surviving each day, I couldn't imagine ever having a moment like this. Thank you for being who you are, Dae. Your good heart has brought us this blessing. The next 2 days pass in a flurry of preparation. Huyen washes and mends their clothes until they're as presentable as possible. Dae borrows a small travel bag from a neighbor and carefully packs their few belongings. Maya helps fold clothes, her excitement never dimming. Neighbors hear about the trip and come by with advice and small gifts. A neighbor gives Maya a hair ribbon. Another offers Dee some extra money for emergencies, though Dae politely declines. On the night before their departure, none of them can sleep. Maya lies between her parents, whispering questions about what tomorrow will bring. Huyen stares at the ceiling, her heart so full it aches. Dae holds them both, thinking about the strange journey that brought them to this moment. From a rainy day and a stranger's accident, to this unexpected gift of joy. Are you really my hero, Papa? Maya asks sleepily. Dae kisses her forehead. No, little one. I'm just a man who tried to help. The real heroes are people like your mama, who survive impossible things and still find reasons to smile. Huyen turns to him in the darkness, tears sliding down her cheeks. We're all heroes to each other, she whispers. That's what family means. Dae's story teaches us something profound about the nature of goodness. When he pulled that injured stranger from the roadside, he wasn't thinking about rewards or recognition. He was simply being human in the truest sense of the word. And yet his kindness created ripples that eventually returned to him, not in the form he might have expected, but in something far more precious, a chance to give his family an experience they'll treasure forever. Huyen has learned that happiness doesn't come from wealth or security alone. It comes from moments like these, from the warmth of family, from the knowledge that the man she loves is someone whose goodness touches lives in ways they may never fully know. For Maya, this trip will be her first real adventure, the beginning of a lifetime of memories built on the foundation of her father's compassion. As they prepare to leave their mountain home for 3 days of discovery, they carry with them the most important lesson of all. Genuine kindness never goes to waste. It spreads through this world like light through water, touching lives, creating connections, and eventually returning to its source in unexpected and beautiful ways. Thank you for joining us on this journey with Ly, Huyen, and Maya. If their story touched your heart, please subscribe to Life Single, like this video, and share your own stories of unexpected kindness in the comments below. Sometimes the smallest acts of compassion create the biggest miracles.